Hey there lovely people, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about The Artist's Way. I'm talking about this book that we all know and love. I want to particularly talk about The Artist's Dates. When I read this book and went through the 12-week process course, I was really struggling with the artist dates. I did my artist way journey last year, and that was easily the hardest part for me, was just like not just prioritizing time for my creative self, but just even coming up with things to do every week for 12 weeks. It got very repetitive and I actually probably missed half of the weeks of doing the artist date because I just let the week go by and I did not prioritize getting it done. But a year later, I definitely can see the artist's way working in my life and in my creative process. And with anything, it's a process, right? Like we're constantly learning and improving and on this journey. So I want to try to get back into doing the artist dates. The morning pages was something that I was able to just fly right through. I never really lost my spark for wanting to do that, but god dang, these artist dates were just like the bane of my existence. But if you do not know what this book is, by the way, it is a spiritual path to higher creativity. It is a book that makes you go dig really deep in and like figure out who you are as a creative and what it is that you want to do with your creative life and your creative journey. It makes you really like have an open dialogue with yourself and like push yourself into an artist's routine that maybe you didn't have before. It honestly is not like the scariest thing on earth, and like it's not completely unrealistic to like live this type of lifestyle mindset on a regular basis. I think that it is. I think just for me it takes like time for me to really settle in to routines because I am a very non-routine person. So in today's video I want to help you guys and help myself by giving us some ideas for artist days. If you are doing the artist way this year, because it is January, it's a new year, it's like when folks want to really start to like get on a good path. Hopefully this video will give you some artist date ideas, at least one or maybe even all three, to add to the 12 weeks of artist dates that you're going to be going on during this challenge. I have been going on some artist dates and I want to share them with you guys. These dates are going to be a range of prices from you know, spending some money to just a little bit of change to completely free. Okay, so starting out with like the one where you're gonna probably spend some money. I took a pretzel making class here in Denver and it was so much fun. This was such a cool artist date because I got to participate in a creative skill that is outside of my normal art medium, and I got to learn a new craft from someone who's very passionate about it. And then I also got to meet other people and socialize because it was like a group class and it was like a happy hour themed class too, so we got to have like sparkling sodas and cocktails and like all of this really nice stuff, and like snacks and pizza, and like it was awesome. The bakery that we went to was called Rebel Bread, and the class was taught by my friend Chef Jan, who has a delicious pretzel recipe. He walked us through how to make the dough, how to like weigh the dough out and get the portions that you need, and then all of the different steps of kneading and shaping and snaking out your pretzel dough. That part took the longest. It was fun and also finicky to stretch the dough out as skinny as it needed to be and as long as it needed to be to make a perfect pretzel shape that kept its shape and kept the little like holes in the sides and like that classic pretzel shape. Yeah, that was quite the challenge, but it was a lot of fun because I got to do it with friends and we ate delicious pretzels afterwards. We were able to bring home 4 pretzels that we made, and I brought them home, and of course Jay and I demolished them. They were delicious. I bought some queso from the grocery store and dipped my pretzel in queso. It was chef's kiss. But that was such a nice like creative outlet outside of my normal creative hobbies, and that is like such a great idea for an artist date, is to do a craft that you've never done before, be it a baking class or a cooking class or a pottery class or you know, anything under the sun like that you're interested in. Glass blowing, like literally paint making, book binding. Like there's so many crafts and arts mediums to dive into. We don't have to stay, you know, structured into what we do as like a 2D artist or a 3D artist or digital artist. Like you can get your hands dirty and messy doing something else creative and fulfill yourself in that way. So that was the first idea. Idea number 2 is our low price point artist date, and that is a figure drawing session. I have not done a figure drawing session in a decade, probably more, because it's been since university and like early university. I did go to art school in Virginia Commonwealth University, and we had to take nude figure drawing our freshman year, and it was like the epitome of art school and like the most iconic class ever. Like we had the coolest like old Russian drawing teacher, and he was like so badass and everyone was like so kind of scared of him but also idolized him. But anyway, I found this group in Denver that does these figure drawing sessions, and they do it weekly. So I decided to take a look at the calendar for the new year and sign up for a session. And so I had never gone before, and I went to meet another artist friend to do this class, and thank God I went to meet her because I ended up running late and she was able to like buy my seat for me because the class totally sold out. It was in a bar slash restaurant on the street called Colfax in Denver, which can be a sketchier neighborhood. But yeah, it was in this bar, and I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was going to be like out in the open in the bar, if it was going to be themed, would they be nude, would they be in costume. Like I don't know, I didn't know what to expect. But it ended up being in the basement of this bar. You had to walk through the bar, through the kitchen, and like into this little double door that led down into a basement that had like a small like stage area set up with some like lamps that were facing said stage that had a couch on it and some like couch pillows and some blankets. And then we see the model, and he has on his robe, and he's like socializing with the different artists, and there's just chairs packed around in an arc around this like little stage area, and it's just like all types of mismatched chairs and stools and seats. And I was just like, I was, you know, clamoring in like essentially exactly when they were starting, and so I'm just like, oh, excuse me, like trying to like get my stuff. I was pleasantly surprised to see that they provided art materials. Like I brought all of my own, but next time I probably won't bother because they provide like big pieces of paper, hardboard, all types of drawing materials. And I loved like using my stuff and a combination of their stuff to do my drawings. It was so cool. It just was like it felt like indie artist vibes. I felt very like young and free, and like I was in art school again. That's really what it felt like. And seeing everyone's like renditions of the model was also really freaking cool. Like I'm getting emotional because like I so rarely get to be in a creative space where everyone is creating and like feeding off each other. And like I feel like I took advantage, not take advantage, I did not take advantage of that enough when I was in college. And now that I am a working artist, I work mostly alone, and so I don't get to be in this like creative buzz of an energy of this like little basement packed with 35 artists who are just like meticulously drawing the same model all from different point of views, and like we're all like sharing our work afterwards. It was just amazing. It was amazing. So I highly recommend finding a local drawing club near you. That's my recommendation. It doesn't need to be a nude figure drawer like model or drawing session if that's not your cup of tea. Maybe there's a plein air painting drawing group or a still life drawing group or something like that in your town, or maybe you can start one, right? Facebook is a great place to find groups. Instagram is as well, because most groups have like a social page where they like post and stuff. But yeah, just like find somewhere to gather amongst artists and like create the same thing together. It's such a vibe. And this class was a $10 donation, and then you got to tip the model if you wanted to tip the model. So I ended up spending $15 on this class. Oh, and I didn't tell you about what I paid for the pretzel class because I didn't pay for the pretzel class, but I think it's like 65 bucks or something like that. It's over $50 for that class. It comes with like drinks and snacks, and you get to like take home the recipe and finished pretzels and stuff. So yeah, if you live in Denver and you're interested, I am gonna put the link to Rebel Bakery and all the courses that they offer, because it's not just pretzel making, it's also sourdough bread and rolls and pastries and all that stuff. So like they teach all types of fun stuff. I won't even bother to show you guys like the sketchbook stuff. I started out in my sketchbook doing the like 1 minute and 3 minute poses and just getting warmed up in my sketchbook, switching between pen and pastel. But then during the second half of the session where we did the longer poses, which were 10 minutes, I only used my chalk pencil and I used bigger paper, and I got some pretty cool drawings like this one. Some of them do have private bits in them, so I'm going to try not to get flagged. I'll try not to get flagged. But this is another one that I liked. This one's very sassy. Look at this little pose. Those are some nice legs. But yeah, I felt like a freaking kid again in that class. It made me feel like my young artist self, and that's kind of a feeling I've been chasing lately, is like reconnecting to who I was as an artist when I was at my most inspired and happy and creative. And that's what this book is all about, right? So yeah, that was a artist date that definitely did what it was supposed to do. For our completely free artist date idea, I went on a little walk through my neighborhood to my local library. And maybe I'm like the only person on earth who's like not like visiting their local library right now. tell me in the comments if I'm late to the game, but I am rediscovering my love for the library, and I want to encourage you to do the same if you are not already ahead of the game and more hip than me. Okay, so I hit up my library and I spent like an hour or two just really getting to know her, you know? Like, I walked around every nook and cranny. I spent some time in the picture book section looking through picture books because I want to illustrate a picture book one day, and I guess technically author it as well. And I have been having it on my list to do, to like look through picture books more frequently for inspiration and just to really like dive into that world and see what styles and layouts people are using, and like how simple does the writing have to be, how complicated can the writing be. There's just so much to learn when it comes to that realm, and I just want to start like getting my feet wet with it. So I'm excited to have a library card so I can now like go and sit and flip through picture books and just like absorb all the whimsy and inspiration like that. After that, I went looking through the anime and the manga section, and then that kind of led me to like art books and crafting books and all types of like creativity type of books, which was definitely getting me going. Okay, I was just like snatching books left and right. Did you know that you can rent 100 items from the library? That includes DVDs, Blu-rays, freaking CD, like music, digital stuff as well. I just got finished signing up for hella digital stuff. Like, there's like a free movie streaming service that you can have. It's called Canopy, I think. I also downloaded a free music app, which I recently got rid of my Spotify when they was playing games yet again in our face about human rights and stuff. We're not doing that. So I deleted my Spotify a few months ago, and like deleted the subscription. At least they're not getting my little $10 no more. But I've been wanting to find a different music streaming service in general that is not Spotify or Apple. And with my library card, I can use this app called like Free Play. What's it called? Oh my God. Freegal Music. Freegal Music. And I am still brand new to the app, but so far it is really nice. I've typed in some of like my favorite artists and some of the more like elusive artists that don't be liking their stuff on different platforms, and I found like whole discographies from them, listened through a few songs, no ad popped up yet. So far so good. Like, okay, library card. Like, why have I not gone in there sooner, guys? Why didn't you tell me? You're supposed to be my friend. Like, come on. Let me show you some of the books I got. I brought a tote bag. I screen printed this tote bag. It has my art on it. Thank God, too, because I also had to carry some books in my hand. I checked out 11 items, I believe. And they were able to just like seamlessly combine my new library card with my e-library card that I already had with my Libby account. So they like combined the two, and now it's just like one library card, which is so nice. I love Libby, by the way. Okay, well, we're just gonna go with the first one I pulled out. I got this 52 Weeks of Socks book by Lane. My friend who is obsessed with knitting socks has talked about this book before, and I'm so excited to take my time combing through this. The librarian said that I have all the books for 3 weeks, and if the books are not on hold for anyone else, I can renew 3 times automatically. This is insane because this is 52 free sock patterns. 52 free sock patterns. Mind you, there were so many pattern books. So many pattern books. Books about patterns from different cultures all around the world, and just like all different like Christmas books, and just like I was just like, oh my god, I am in knitting resource heaven right now. Okay, all types of books about learning and like the technical side of knitting, like you know how much I love to knit. So I'm so stoked to copy some patterns out of this book to add to my pattern library, which is totally fine to do. You can rent books from the library and Xerox the resources that you need out of them. You can do it inside the library with their paper and ink. It's kind of awesome. So I actually may end up doing that. I may take my time and post-it note all the patterns that I want, and then when I go back to the library to return this, I will Xerox the copies of the patterns that I want. Free sock patterns. What? Okay. I got this book. I can't even tell you what's in it. I didn't even flip this one open, but I grabbed it because it said Contemporary Black Women Artists. Yes. Yes, for the art inspo. Duh. How to create your garden. Ideas and advice for transforming your outdoor space. I got this and another book. This other book, Field Guide to Outside Style, because if you are a patron of this channel, you know that I have been renovating my house for the last 2 years of owning it, and last year I really made a dent with the outside landscaping, and it really still is kind of a fresh slate. Like I put some plants out there, but I left a lot of room because I was unsure still, and I didn't want to like waste my money on plants. So I'm hoping to use some of these books to get inspiration and design inspiration on like how to like layer the plants and choose the plants based off the season and all of that to have like blooms all year round. Blah, blah, blah. You get it. You get it. Resources. More art books. Black artists in America. Yes, I have been dying to dive into more Black art and like use that as a reference to express my own Blackness within my art. And so I'm really looking forward to going through these books that I got that center that topic. This book is called it's called The Eye. How the World's Most Influential Creative Directors Develop Their Visions. I flipped through this a little bit, and it's kind of like that podcast, how they made this, how they got there. How do you know which one I'm talking about, where they talk to like different like organization and brand CEOs and like get their story on like how they started this idea or whatever, and like where like they're started from the bottom, now they hear story. That's essentially what this is, with like all of these amazing different creative directors and like the philosophy of creativity and the psychology behind creativity and just like leadership and that type of thing. I am very interested in, so I'm really gonna keep this one for as long as I can to comb through these stories and like take what I want from them, you know, and leave what I don't, as with anything. But yeah, there's so many cool people in here. A lot of these people, I have no idea who they are. So I'm looking forward to learning something about all of these creative pioneers. And then the last couple books I got are for like funsies. This one's called, it's another art book. It is a Caribbean art book. It's by World of Art, and I am so hyped to get so much inspiration from this book, especially colors and patterns. What? Huh? And like I've been on kind of like a sketchbook journey lately. I'm thinking about doing a video about it, but since the new year started, I've been working in my sketchbook every day, if just for like 20 minutes, to start to build up a practice of just creating art for the sake of creating and getting to know myself again as an artist, as I've been saying, and doing that through a sketchbook practice, which I have always been bad at. Always been bad at. Like I have never been someone who has been able to consistently work in a sketchbook and have a sketchbook practice and like make art for fun in that way. So this year of my big age, I'm gonna try and get a sketchbook practice for the first time ever. And it's been a personal journey so far, but eventually I will muster up the energy to maybe share my experience with that. But first I need to like get it going, and I'm only like a week in, so I'm still working through it. And like these art books are going to give so much inspiration to that sketchbook practice because I love to work from books and resources. So yeah. Okay, lastly, I got some books just for fun. I got some stuff for Jason, but I'm gonna make him go get his own library card, duh. But to encourage him, I got him some manga. Yeah, why did I just forget how to say that word? Manga. And I got One Piece, Ace's story, and Ace is like Luffy's older brother. It was, from what I could see, a 2-volume series. At least they had the first 2 there, so I got the first 2 for him. And it looks intense when I'm flipping through it, but hopefully he'll like this. And then for myself, I'm not really a graphic novel person. I've never been one to seek them out. I've received them as gifts in the past. Like I have like the Scott Pilgrim set of graphic novels that I love and have read through multiple times. But it's just never been like an art medium that I've been like very privy to. So I was thinking with my new library access, I would get into it and try and discover some series that I like on my own. So I was very interested in the artwork and the title of this collection called The Lumberjanes. Cute. It feels very like inclusive and gay and femme, and I don't know, we'll see. I could be completely wrong, I don't know, we'll see. But I quickly got on my Googles and looked at the series chronological list to make sure I got like the first ones. So I got the first and the second volume of the series, and I love the color and the artwork. Like, how pretty. That's so pretty. Are you kidding? That's so pretty. Yeah, I'm not normally a graphic novel person, but just like a quick flip through, and I did the quickest flip through. I was like, wait, love the art, love the colors, love the outdoorsy vibe. I can get into this. And there were a lot more on the shelf. I think there was at least like 6 more books on the shelf. So hopefully I discovered a new series. If you have any graphic novel or anime or manga that you really love, things that center around like feminism, nature, like fantasy, science, art, that's the type of stuff that I like. If you like stuff like that, or you have any recommendations for me, leave them down below. When it comes to like novels and stuff, I don't really feel like that's going to be my jam at the library, because at least not right now, because I have a lot of novels in my like personal home book collection that I have not touched yet, that I don't know if I will, because I've become an audiobook girly, and the multitasking element of audiobooks is really what draws me in. Like, I can be working in my garden and listening to a book at the same time. So if it's some type of novel or storybook, I much prefer it in audiobook form. And essentially I'm going to use the library as a resource for inspiration and create inspiration and curiosity and like creativity farming essentially. So even if I see like novel titles that I like, I will most likely look it up on audiobook, because I don't see myself sitting down to read a novel. Like, for some reason that sounds crazy to me. Like, girl, you could be doing so many other things, and like flipping through an art book feels more productive and like less like idle than like reading a novel for fun and like flipping through the pages of that. I don't know. My brain is weird, but if you get it, you get it, okay? And you're like, oh my God, but it's a graphic now. Girl, it ain't nothing but pictures. It's gonna be a bunch of pictures. And we're looking at it for the art of it all, okay? It's still giving inspiration at the end of the day. You wanna say hi to the people? Say hi to the people, because we're done. I'm done my video now. Hi, people. Okay, well, hopefully you got some inspiration from these 3 artist date ideas for your artist way journey, and you enjoyed this little like yap session with me. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. Please don't lick the books. I have to return them. Thank you. But this is our year to be our like best creative selves. I'm like declaring that for all of us. I don't care if you are an artist or not. This is our year to be creative, okay? We're tapping in to our higher power and our connection to our creative deity up in the universe. And it's going to be pinging on these ideas, and we're going to be executing them, okay? We're going to be jumping on it. We're going to be integrity. Like people of integrity, okay? If we're gonna say it, we're gonna do it. That's what this year's giving. So I'm rooting for you. If you root for me, we can root for each other. And let me know if you liked any of these ideas in the comments, or if you went on any artist dates that you feel like people should add to their list. Let me know in the comments as well, so we can have a little like database down there. And I will see you guys in my next video. You know what you say? Bye-bye. Bye-bye.